If I do remember clearly, the APC rejected that particular topic where that's your response that we talked about, the restructuring concept, but later came up with their own version of it. Does it bother you, an inkling, that discussions around restructuring have largely been inconclusive to this time?
You see, my problem is that I'm essentially a strategy student, a student of strategy. My major concern is, are we addressing the key issues? Now, if you go restructuring, suppose you go senatorial, on a level. Suppose you go gubernatorial level, state levels. We've tried all these other things. We've tried the, sorry, I'm getting a little bit of distraction there.
Go ahead, please. I can hear you clearly.
We've tried all sorts of models, the parliamentary model. We've tried also the presidential model, the U.S. system. It's not really about the beauty of the structure, the matter. You can have whatever structure in an organization. It's the kind of thinking that goes in, the kind of leadership that is being provided. At the moment, we've seen the kind of challenges that leadership faces in terms of development process and all that. And what are the key requirements that can enable a huge economy like Nigeria with 180 million people, with 100 million people subsisting on less than $1 a day? And repeatedly, experts have come to tell you that you can't move this economy forward unless you have key utilities and infrastructure, power sector, the water, the roads, rail networks. These things must be provided. You can see that individuals and businesses are spending a lot more providing, those energy, providing all those utilities. At the end of the day, what kind of profit margin are you looking at?
Okay, if we have to, if I may just come in here, if I may just butt in here, because it would seem to suggest that there is just so much to table down. But if we look at the 2018 budget, which has not been passed to this time, unfortunately. So we'd expected that we'll be having a budget cycle from January to December, but that hasn't that hasn't come true. What Nigerians really want is to see that salaries are being paid, the buying capacity increases for them. The government says that we're going to look at how to improve on wages. How do we look at all this coming together in 2018?
Okay, like Yimba, we are talking about like the budget for 2018. We are talking about 8.612 trillion naira. Out of that, 30% of that will go to salaries and pensions, right? 25% of that will go to debt servicing. Then we expect that another 30% will go to capital expenditure. Then we'll only be left with about 15%. So the question you are going to ask yourself is this: when we have the political class this divided and disunited, when we have the political landscape very hot and not comfortable, there is no peace among political parties and political members. How will you develop the necessary kinetics to achieve even your budget objectives? Something happened that was supposed to be very good, right? This voluntary asset and income declaration scheme, where people were bringing in, some of the monies that they were supposed to bring in, to the government. Some of us felt, well, that was going to be used to take care of even the budget deficit. But somehow, somewhere, some people were willing to bring out their loot or something that didn't belong to them, and some were even confessing that they were born again. But when somebody said he's a born again, instead of appreciating him, instead of people to think, appreciate, so that more converts will come, you are now saying, kill him. Kill him, destroy him. So one way or the other,
so are people more discouraged now on the
very discouraged. So some people are saying, I rigged election, yes. I looted, yes. I supported, I cheated, and you can't do me anything. Come if you want. So somehow, somewhere, the political atmosphere is very clumsy. And unfortunately, there is nothing we are bequeathing to the younger generation. Because when you talk about, is it the catch them young bill or not too young to contest, what are they actually gaining from the political class? Nothing. I'm telling you, if we continue at this rate, foreign direct investors will only come here, they will enjoy our hospitality, but when they go back to their respective countries, all they will be saying is, don't go into Nigeria to invest, because there is no political stability, there is no security, there is nothing guaranteed, Nigeria is being seen as a politically dangerous country to come in and invest now. So these venomous exchanges must reduce. The inter and intra-party fightings must stop. Because all of a sudden, Nigeria is no longer looking like a political model. We have lost it as a political, as an economic model already, or a long time ago.
If I may bring this in, some of the developments that we've seen that has to do with that particular list of looters that was released, alleged looters by the government. We've had the PDP national chairman, Uche Secondos, come out to say that no, you have wrongfully mentioned my name. As a matter of fact, I'm suing for 1.5 billion. How politically hostile do you think this development will be, considering that the economy will be the final bash at the end of the day?
You know, there is this saying that the power of life and death lies with the tongue. And that simply means you can convert a bitter enemy into a good friend if you manage your tongue very well, whether he's a criminal, a looter or not. And in like manners, you can convert a good friend into a bitter enemy, depending on the management. Ordinarily, we're supposed to look at ourselves as Nigerians and work in the interest of Nigeria and national interest. What I've always been expecting to hear from young or mature politicians is somebody should be able to sit down and say, okay, we have energy deficit, but what are the sources of energy? We have coal, we have solar, we have hydro. If I am voted in 2019, how can I harness this, right?
Okay.
We have issues with food sufficiency and security. If I am voted either as a local government chairman, a governor, or a president, what can I do to endear myself to Nigerians and to invite outsiders to come into my country and contract?
Let me get the thoughts of Mr. Galtima in our Abuja studios. You know, it is believed that there's this growing sense of political injustice that could hurt the economy. Do you believe that that is the case when you listen to those side comments and some of the developments that we've seen lately that has to do with the approval of $1 billion by Mr. President? Do you think that that is a major concern on the front, on the line of thinking of some who say that the timing is not right and he didn't get the support of the National Assembly before that approval was made? What is your thoughts about that?
Now, when you look at the security challenges facing the Buhari administration, he had clearly said prior to the election, during his electioneering campaign, that when I come, one of the principal considerations in my administration will be to frontally deal with the issues of Boko Haram. We've seen the kind of, devastating attacks that generated by these foreign terrorist organizations and the kind of impact it has on creating internally displaced people and all that. Today you go to essentially the theater of operation, Northeast, particularly Maiduguri, which was one of the areas that was prone to a lot of attacks. A lot of people will tell you that Buhari has done extremely very well vis-a-vis how he was able to address that issue. And mind you, repeatedly experts have come to tell you that armament, whenever there are insurgencies, are very, very expensive ventures. Quite recently, Donald Trump, the president of America, was in Saudi Arabia, and how much did they sign? A contract worth over $400 billion to safeguard the credibility of that empire and the American interests and investments and all that. If you look at the kind of investments that we have in Niger Delta, they are prone to a lot of attacks.
So do you believe that that $1 billion, do you believe that that $1 billion is okay for the government to have that release for those to fight those insurgency?
It's a drop in the ocean. It's a drop in the ocean.
Okay, I would like to take that as your final thoughts. Well, I must, however, thank you because we're running out of time at this moment. Galtima Liman, a former presidential aspirant and also an economic analyst. Thank you so much indeed for talking to us on State of the Nation, as well as Zaka Balahi is an chartered accountant, if I will, and another economist with me in our Lagos studios. Thank you so much indeed for talking to us, and also to you for being part of the show. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Gimba Omar, and this is State of the Nation.